Ladies and gents, thank you for your time this afternoon, and I really want to welcome you, if you were not welcomed yet, which I doubt, but if you weren't, welcome to Stellenbosch University. Welcome to our Next Gen Maties event for our students of the Western Cape that got conditional offers, hopefully accepted their offers, and are here today. Just a bit of a background with regards to where I fit in at the university. I work within the Division of Student Recruitment and Career Advice. And what my job basically entails is we go out, visit a lot of schools. We are the first entry point towards specific schools, doing presentations, targeting specifically grade 9s, 11s, and 12s, facilitating grade 12 learners through the application process. So if some of you, well, all of you are in Western Cape schools, but might saw some of our colleagues that's in the same building today, that means we consider you as one of our partner schools. So that's just a brief overview of who I am. And we decided today that the panel members will introduce themselves because they do a really great job within it. Maybe I forget something and then I get a mic against their head, so that's what we don't want. Well, I don't want that. So it gives me great pleasure for the panelists to just introduce themselves, and then we can start away with our conversation with regards to student life, first year welcoming, and safety on campus. Parents and learners, just on that note, if you have any specific questions that you want us to address as we go throughout the session, how we go about it, you scan the QR code with your phone, take you to a form link, and you post your questions there. Sometimes we do get some of the questions are quite similar, so we try then and just shuffle through them for time constraint. Right. So please feel free to make use of the QR code to post your questions so we can answer them as we go along. Our panelist, ma'am.
All right. One of our fellow panelists does this thing where he says he's also an alma mater of the institution. Perhaps I should also say that. So my name is Nyakalo, and I am a coordinator for the community students. I did my undergrad as well as my postgrad here, and I'm now an employee of the institution.
I'm not in a position to talk about my education here. It's long time back. I'm Rihanna Engelbrecht, and I am working in the Center for Student Life and Learning, and I am an educational cluster coordinator or manager. And so all the residences and commuter students, communities, that's where it comes together in programs which we design for them. But you will hear about that later.
Goedemiddag almal, ek is Brandon Como en ja, ek sien as glimlagte aan die agterkant. Ons praat nog Afrikaans by die universiteit. I have the privilege to have studied at university. I studied in Hong Kong, I studied in Belgium, and I made a full circle back to the university where I do risk and event management within the campus security department.
We can give them a clap if you guys don't mind. Thank you. Feel a bit forced though, but anyway, let's carry on. I know you guys are tired. We will finish before 2 o'clock so you can watch the kickoff, I promise. I'm not that concerned about you, but I want to see it, so that's why we will finish before. I'm just kidding. So ladies and gents, like I said, we will be addressing the themes on the board, and without any further ado, Nyakalo, what does a CSC stand for, right? And how does your office ensure that these students are successfully integrated into the USSU community?
All right. So are any of the parents alumni of the institution? Okay, so a CSC is what was previously called a PSO here, Private Student Organization, and now we call it a commuter student community to just globalize the term, because we found that when we explain what a PSO is to people that are not within the Stellenbosch University ecosystem, it sounds like a bunch of words that don't make sense. So essentially the CSCs are students that live off campus. That means they don't live in a residence. And within the CSCU, the unit for community students, we offer everything that a residence offers except for a bed. So within the welcoming program, when we receive the newcomers, they'll be allocated to a CSC. We've got about 10. There's single sex as well as co-ed. There's about 2 co-ed and the rest are single sex. You are allocated to one automatically, so you do have an option to choose whether or not you want to be in a co-ed one or in a single sex one. But we kind of choose for you at the end of the day. You're allocated to either one of the 10, and then you're then put through the welcoming program, so you are welcomed, orientated, and integrated into the university ecosystem. You also get a chance to mingle with the students that are in resident spaces. So it's just kind of a structure that we have in place to make sure that a student that is placed within a CSC does not dwindle. So in most cases, parents worry that if they're not in a race, that's the only opportunity that they'll get to properly have an experience of what the institution has to offer, but that's why we exist. So they're put through the welcoming program. They're also allocated mentors according to what they study, but it's also an initiative that's put in place to kind of support them throughout the entirety of the year, but also in the bigger scheme of things, their time here at Stellenbosch University. So yes, that's what we do. We welcome, orientate, and integrate you, and we offer you endless opportunities to develop yourself, to find new friends, to also come up with things that you think we don't offer and you think are really cool. So yeah.
Thank you on that. I think parents sometimes, our biggest fear, or sometimes the kids' biggest fear, is getting here and be like, okay, but what is that first day, first hour, the first week going to look like? And for some students, it might be daunting, right? But on that, our new first year group annually take part in a welcoming program. Can you maybe just elaborate on what it is and the value of that program, please?
Yes, so before the classes start, from the 24th of next year, it will be from the 24th of January, you will get all that information. Don't stress if you cannot remember anything. You will get info booklets, and from your CSC and from your residents, you will get that. So in our division or our center, we have programs that we put together, of which one of them are a welcoming program. So the students come here. In our days, it was called DWIP, and then it moved into orientation, and now it's welcoming. So the term welcoming gives it away. It's really to welcome the students into these spaces, to give them a place of belonging, and all the offerings. So we have a set program. It's a template, which they just put little bit here and there. It differs from community to community. So if you do not get in a community where you wanted to be, don't despair. You will literally, within the first day, think that community, best thing since sliced bread. You will not even know what's going on in another community. You will hate them. Klar. So, sometimes we want to be in a residence or a CSC where our parents were, and it's not the same anymore. It's really not the same. The experience on campus our division actually see to it that there's a parallel, and it's more or less, I don't want to say equal, because equal is a very strong word, but more or less. So within that, from that Wednesday until the classes start, the students are exposed. They will, bad news for the parents. Now the leaders will take over your place. You will not be, they won't even think about you, maybe. So that's also not something to despair about. It's the time for them to really fly. You brought them this far. You've taught them for 17, 18 years a lot of things. Now you have to trust what you have taught them. There's still a few months left. So in that program, we expose them. They are exposed to a lot to the academic side, yes. They will go into faculties. They will meet the people in the faculty. They will listen to what's going on in faculties, but also we expose them to critical thinking, because at school, everybody think for you. Eh? You don't think about something like bystander effect or GBV or something to that extent. But you hear it somewhere. So we expose them. There are those kind of conversations. They love it. They love it. It's the first time actually somebody asked for their opinion about serious matters. But for the young people, I can see the stress on your faces. There are socials, abundance of that. as well. You will meet new people. You will be exposed to other people studying the same you are studying. That will give you extra marks because research has shown that if you know at least 8 people when you go to class, you are more relaxed, you know who you're going to sit with, then you listen better to what the lecturer's got to say, which means you take more in, which means it's marks without even studying. So therefore you have to attend this welcoming program. So, and the socials, it's well orchestrated. Behind the scenes, we keep our eyes on it. It's not like in our days, let's go, sparkle, social, and then when you get picked, oh, that's the nicest, best thing since sliced bread, again. But if you don't get picked, it's the worst experience ever for you. So we don't allow that. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in this program. So just be there. Even if you think you still want to get into a residence, if you applied and you're not in a residence yet, go to the CSC where you are placed. Go to the program and take part in it, because that will also help you to fit into residence if you are placed late. It will help you a lot. So you will do Connect, that's Vensters, for those of you who knows what's going on the campus. It was a street production, it's not in the streets anymore, but you are part of a production that you will dance and you will perform there. It's really, really very interesting and very nice. So you're going to enjoy it. And it will prepare you. You will meet your mentor. Each and everybody on this campus, they have access to a mentor, whether they are in a residence or not. They have access to a mentor. So that mentor will help you to bridge that gap between school and university. They are trained seniors, and they know the resources on campus. They know more or less the problems that can arise with being a newcomer or first year, and they are able to refer and take you, I don't want to say by the hand because you were a grown-up. So take part, make 100% sure that you know exactly where your CSC or your residence, where you have to be, what date you have to be there and what time you have to be there. Our biggest challenge actually is the fact that students don't ask. Because on this campus there's a resource for everything, but they don't ask. They think they're the only one that's got that problem. You are not the only one. Most probably part of the majority. And then they think, oh my word, my marks are less than at school. I'm the only one. I'm the only one getting 50% for a test, or maybe fail a test. And I don't talk about that. But you're not the only one, believe me. So show up where you have to be, and the system will do the rest for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Rihanna. That intelligence is always a concern or a topic of discussion, and I think at any university is the safety of that specific institution. And I think that's also a big discussion point today. So Brandon, on that, how safe is Stellenbosch as a town? It's a bit of a double-sided question. And then also, like parents also seen today, it's not a gated campus, right? It's an open campus. So with that in mind, how do we give parents a peace of mind that their young adults are safe?
Thanks. I think that's a wonderful question. Can you pick up the rope now? Okay, cool. Tony, you guys can pick it up, but they can't pick it up, so I'll just use the other mic. So I'm standing up because it's the last session, and I want to, especially the people at the back benches, they're like naughty students. They just go for the back benches. I want to speak to everybody, and my father's a preacher. So normally seeing somebody walk around, I just want to interact with you more. Excuse me, what's your name? Danelle. Danelle, choosing Stellenbosch University, you've made the best decision of your life. You don't know that yet, but you will find that out very soon. Why am I saying that? Stellenbosch is a microcosm of South Africa. So crime that you'll see in places like Joburg or wherever, you will also find here in a more potent way because it's smaller. But there is hope. At the university, we have some of the best systems built in. We have over 1,500 cameras. Even in this venue at the moment, our team are looking over you to see if no bags and stuff is getting stolen. That's how advanced we are with how we protect you. We have an internal team of about 40 people. Some of them, like my colleague that's retiring now, is working for the university for 44 years. Some of them is there for 25 years, and they looked after me when I was a student. My first year was in 2005. So they had a 20-year reunion with my group. What I'm trying to tell you, when you choose Stellenbosch, you're choosing world-class service. We understand the microcosm of crime in South Africa. And normally, the parents are mostly the people that's worried about crime. The students in the room, they're just thinking about having a good time, what clothes are they going to wear, will they have data. Parents are normally the ones that's very worried about safety. So on that point, what happens in the rest of the country, smash and grab, that happens. That's why we say it's a three-way relationship between you as a parent, the university, and you as a student. We try to educate our students at the beginning of the year with a lot of workshops. We go around every community trying to say smash and grab is the reality. For instance, you look sweet, you don't look like somebody that drinks. Maybe this one day you just made a judgment, I'm going to go out. Rihanna spoke about aanklas. Do you know what aanklas is? Not yet, you're going to find out. Parents, aanklas, she's laughing because it's not a place where there's actually going to be class. It's a different type of class that's happening in that evening. Now you decide to go there. You park your car in a very dark area. You come back and your laptop is gone. Then you come to us, then we first ask you, were you intoxicated? Then you tell us never, but we can see on the camera everything that happened. But a lot of the crime is opportunity crime. So you left your laptop on your back seat in a dark spot in the evening, you came back, it's gone. It will be gone because it's part of South Africa. So we do a lot of training, and that's why I say it's a relationship between you, the parent, the student, and us to communicate the whole time about safety measures. So, going away point, Stellenbosch is a microcosm of South Africa. We have a lot of stuff that we did build in to make campus safer for you, and a lot of those things I'm going to speak in the next round of questions about what's the type of things that we built into this university to make sure that you have a world-class safe experience within the context of South Africa.
There we go. Thanks. I said thank you, Brandon, but the thing went off. Parents, yeah, it is. I think it's super important what you mentioned as well, that we should be vigilant about what's ever happening in the rest of South Africa also happens here, but emphasizing the word micro, okay, on a smaller scale, right? But still it's here. Right, so, Nyakalo, I've got another question for you. So, emphasizing, like we did in the previous session, 2/3 of our first years, of our newcomer first years, will stay in private accommodation, just due to space. I mean, we cannot accommodate all 5,500 first years. And just on that, sorry, I'm going to continue my question just now. Parents and people that's here today, I just want to put some stuff into perspective today. The people that's here today that got offers and accepted the offers, okay, and form part of the 5,500 people that got accepted, if I can call it that, were part of a group of 106,000 applications. I just want to say how amazing that is, and the fact that you're sitting here today, you are part of 106,000 applications, and we chose you, right? That not making you feel special, then I don't know what will, but that's amazing. So just congratulations on that. And with that in mind, I mean, 2/3 of that group that will be first years next year will stay in private accommodation, right? Or will commute to campus daily. So by when will students know which CSC they have been allocated?
Okay, so you will know by the end of November, early December. which community you're placed in. So currently, we have just elected very excited, agile, young leaders that are going to be your guys' HC members or house committee members. So the gazebos that are set up on the Roy Plain and the people that were like doing the Footloose dance, I am a coordinator for them. So they are currently going through a very rigorous process of reviewing what worked this year. What did the newcomers like? What did they not like? When did they start getting tired? When did it plummet? And we're also just in a phase of encouraging them to think outside of the box for you guys, right? So it's quite a rigorous process. There's a lot of, okay, fix this and return it. But ultimately, that's what leads to us sending out the welcoming booklet, right? So we are in the phase of preparing the leaders to prepare for the newcomers that will be welcoming next year. And that's usually a process that takes about a month and a half. As Rihanna said, they're handed a template and then they then populate the template. But we also look rigorously into, is it accommodating for the students that we are receiving? We're also very aware of different disabilities or needs that students might have. So we need to be very cognizant of making sure that that covers all of the bases, right? So that's quite an extensive process. And then once that is done, you will hear back from the institution about whether or not you are placed in a residence. And if you're not, you'll receive a very nice email from us welcoming you into the unit or the community that you're in. Within the email, you'll be told which community you're in, and then we'll also attach a welcoming booklet. So the welcoming booklet, like I explained earlier on, is basically just an infographic of what you can expect as you come in next year. We do get instances where a glitch in the system happens. So somebody that identifies as a male is placed in a female CSC and the other way around. It happens all the time, but we fix it really quickly. So if it happens, which we're hoping it doesn't, please bear with us. We're also always very eager to speak. I love to speak to the parents. So if it does happen, please call in. We're very ready to fix the matter. And I don't work alone. I come from a unit of about 5 people. So yeah, we're more than able to handle the matter. But to answer the question, by the beginning of December, you should know which CSC you're in for next year.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Rihanna, back to you. So you spoke about the welcoming week and the impact of that. But let's say, for example, a student could not make the welcoming week. Or they missed that entire week, what backup options are there for them to experience something like that?
Yeah, so in our environment, we have the student communities, which is the residents, and then the student communities, which are the commuter student communities, where students stay in their own places, and they slot in with this community called commuter student community. So in the residence, it's easy. There's a setup. Once you get there, once we get the email, that email goes out and you will be welcomed at the door with a smile face. Somebody will take you. There will be a whole, behind the scenes, there's a whole structure that kicks in. So you will get your bed, you will get a mentor, and also before you know how the laundry works, where you have to eat, all those things will be explained to you. So that's the easy part, the residences. Then you have your commuter students. That's the less easy part of it. So the university also make provision for that. So 2 or 3 weeks into the academic calendar, there's a second welcoming. But in the meantime, most of the times, Color, help me if I'm wrong, they get information on the CSC community where they are placed or have been placed. So then they will know who to contact. Our biggest challenge, I don't know whether I've mentioned it, is that the students do not speak up because, they think they're the only one. Everybody's just waiting for you to speak up. Just wait for you. They cannot find you as is. They don't know where to find you. You know where you are. Just speak up and make contact. Send emails. I see the young generation, they can send emails very quickly. And I love that. But at least they are on the radar then, and then we can assist. So the second welcoming is a day, also a nice fun-packed day. The rector or somebody welcomes them again, and they also are exposed to the cluster where they are exposed to all the other residences and the CSCs who are clustered into a community just to make the campus a little bit smaller, so they meet those people who will be in the same classes as them, and to just help them to adapt and get that sense of belonging where they are. So essence, or the bottom line is show up. Don't assume, show up. This university, they do a lot. They go through a lot of effort to make it easy for you to show up. They are there. Just contact them. If you are unsure, ask. I always say, even if you phone me, or but Admin A is your to go-to place if everything, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know where to start. Admin A, they will refer you to any resource that you might need.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rihanna. Brandon, back to you. You anticipated the question a bit earlier on about the specific security or safety initiatives that we do have on campus. So if you maybe can share with the parents and the learners about what we have in place at our university.
Okay, sweet. What's your name? Danelle. Danelle, for people like you, we have worked out a system called Walkwit. It's almost like, here's some parents in the room that I've seen here before. So it's not the first generation of students that's here, it's the second generation, and they can tell you. It's called a Walkwit service. So we have Uberized the system where, Daniel, you can WhatsApp 10 minutes before the time when you study, for instance, in your Jan Maton, and then you want to go to maybe a off-campus place where you stay. WhatsApp our office, which is free. Our service comes to you and they walk with you from where you stay to, from where you're studying to where you stay. That service happens from 6 in the evening until 6 in the morning. Gratis, verniet, mahala, just for you. Because we knew you're going to need it because you look like somebody that studies very hard late in the evening. Secondly, if you stay in a 6.5 kilometer radius off campus, we also have a shuttle service. The shuttle service runs from 6 in the evening until 6 in the morning. Do you know what's the cost of that? Do you want to know? I like the fact that somebody says mahala. It's also free. It's another system that we have built into your overall university experience. So when I told you you're coming to the best university in Africa, I actually meant it because a lot of the cost is built in. In this room, we have 12 Wi-Fi routers. Why do we have 12 and not 1? We don't want you to buffer the whole time. And if there's a safety issue, we want you to be in contact immediately with somebody. When there's load shedding, I'm not speaking down on the police. When it's load shedding, the police line doesn't work because they don't have generators. We have 35 generators all over campus, meaning if there's load shedding, we will have emergency powers and our Wi-Fi routers works. So that you can continue studying, number one, so that you continue with your academic journey. We are serious about the academics. During 2015, when there was protests all over the country, we were the only university out of 26 in the country that graduated on time. Some of you won't understand what an achievement that was, being the only university out of 26 that graduated on time. Why? We have dedicated staff that plans months in advance to make sure we take the money, the little that we have, and we maximize it to give you a safe experience and an experience where you become a world-class citizen. So I spoke about the Walkwit service, I spoke about the shuttle service that we have. Built into that, we also have a buzzer system. Buzzer is a community network, safety network, where if you're in an emergency, you can press the app on your phone, and we will send within a 5-minute period somebody to you. Why I say 5 minutes? Because we have such a lot of cameras and a lot of security all over campus, our response time is very quick. I say 5 minutes as the max, but sometimes we respond much faster than that. It's another additional offering that we build in. But, like any system, this is not a perfect university. And I can speak to you about it because crime is a reality that we all face. So I can tell you about the genuine facts without hiding stuff. At the moment, we have a problem with car theft. Polos and Toyotas. But it's not just a Stellenbosch problem. It's a national problem. But now, we have the problem here. For instance, in the week, 3 cars, more or less in the same vicinity, were stolen. I'm not telling this to scare away. I'm just telling you, our way of communicating is an honest way. We're not going to lie to you and say we're perfect. It is in our imperfections that we try to improve our security to give you the best offering that we can with the resources available. But I can tell you this university will go out of its way, like it did and still does for me as a staff member, as a student, to look at the safety of you so that when she's not at home, you can have a bit of peace of mind that the place will be a bit safer because you have sent your child to one of the best institutions in the world.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate sharing on that. I've actually forgot just to add on to that question and anticipating the worst that can happen. So let's say, for example, a incident will occur. What more or less will the responding time be of the division there where you function within?
Because we have an internal and an external team and we work, what makes this municipality different is, and this university different is, we have an excellent working relationship with the municipality. Not a good relationship, excellent working relationship. And not just with the municipality, also with the police. We have weekly joint meetings. We're in the same WhatsApp group. We communicate the whole time. Why? Even the municipality officials and the police speak about our university. That's how invested this town is. The response time makes it very quick with under 5 minutes because of this symbiotic nature and relationship that we have. I can't stress more of how important it is, the fact that we communicate openly, that our response time is reduced, but also when you choose this university, you won't go wrong. I mean, it's 18 years, 20 years is my reunion. I was 20 years the first year, and I still speak about this university in the way that I'm speaking about. And I did study abroad, but Stellenbosch has still been one of the best decisions of my life.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Parents, yes, it comes to the session now, or the section now, where we gave you the option to address some of the questions that you have. You're going to laugh with me now, so it's not a weird question. It's just, yeah, anyway. Question number 1 from a parent or a learner: is the lecturer scary? No, they are not. If you did do bad, they're also not scary. So, Kalik, I don't know if you want to elaborate on some of that.
I can actually answer. She's married to one of the top professors, not just in this university, but in the world. Her husband is like world renowned for his research, so she can answer better.
They are scary if you don't know them. So get to know them. Sit in front of the class and smile and laugh when they tell a joke. They will love you.
Even if it's not funny.
Yeah. Even if it's not funny. If you don't catch it, just don't show it. Yeah. You laugh when you think you should. But no, that's just a joke. But they're not scary. They are there because they want you to be successful. They want you to show interest in what you are there for, your subject. So try to show interest. We also try to, in our communities, try to expose our students to lecturers as much as possible. In my cluster, we have faculty Fridays, so the students can now invite a lecturer for lunch, and then the poor lecturer have to sit there. There's always burgers on a Friday, Burger Friday. Enjoy a burger. And then students can join him or her then for this lunch. They book their lunch and they come and have their lunch with him or her. So that's just one of the initiatives. There's a lot of other initiatives. So just show up at those events that the lecturers are and listen to the lecturers. Just go to their classes. You might learn something. Sometimes they give you the answers of what they're going to ask in the tests and in the exams. And then some students still doesn't make it, and it's always the same ones, they don't listen. And the lecturers are actually giving it away. So listen to them. That's why you are here, that's why you pay here. Yes, social, in this phase of one's life, socials are high because it's where you make new, meaningful social connections. So you have to social. Social well-being is really, really high up on the agenda. But so is intellectual and occupational wellness. That all helps with mental wellness, emotional wellness, and all the other wellness dimensions. Then you will be well. And do what you have to do when you have to do it, as you have to do it. Then they will love you.
I just want to add, as somebody that was in a lecture hall last year and the year before that, they are scary. They are very scary. I'm kidding. But the most wonderful thing about university, now I'm going to go all philosophical, is that you go from a structured place of going to school at this time. You know, you have math at this time, then physical sciences or whatever, and then there's a break time and all of that, to now we just throw you into this pond where we're like, okay, swim. So you learn to be responsible. In the beginning of the year, the Nielsen is so full. We are so passionate. Everybody wants to go to class. And then you start getting into your routine and the classes get smaller. This very class could probably be a lecture hall for you. In the first few weeks, people sit on the stairs. They sit on, like they cross their legs in front here. And then you have to then start being intentional about why you're here. Then the numbers will dwindle. So the lecturers don't care, all right? You come to university, all of a sudden, whether or not you go to your 8 a.m. is up to you. Some in the beginning are very strict, so they'll take register and all of that. And then people wiggle the system, and all of a sudden, there's a friend that can sign for you, right? So we put a lot of things in place to make sure that students thrive, but the university experience is really what you make it, right? You could not send your marks back home and your parents ask for them, and it'll probably be fine. But you really learn to take ownership and charge over your life. So it is scary for everybody, but it's truly what you make it. It is supposed to be scary because it's a new experience, but it's also very fun. You get to find new ways for you to study. For some of you, you probably prefer to study during the day because you want to sleep a full 8 hours. Then all of a sudden now Brandon is saying they can walk you home. No, it doesn't look so bad to study overnight, but it's really what works for you. So it's intimidating, but it must be, and it's really, really what you make it. The one thing I can tell you is that there are no lengths that this institution would not go to make sure that you thrive. I will also say that statistically, we do have a greater employment rate after varsity. So it's truly an all-encompassing experience. So the lectures give you all the skills you need to go into the world, and I would say the rest or the CSC churns your character. So your skill gets you the job, but your character is what sustains the job. So come and attend the welcoming program and the stuff after that, actually, please.
Thank you so much. It's also good to mention what you should not do at university, as in like let people sign in for you. I mean, I think also some students, when they get to university, they also develop a new kind of scheming skills. And a story of my own life, I mean, I phoned my dad, I need money for textbooks. Money never went to textbooks. And when I finished my degree and I came home, Dad was like, listen, so sell all of your textbooks to a second-hand store, and I had one textbook. So
you're giving the guys ideas now. I see they're taking notes there at the back.
Yeah. It's good. Come to me afterwards if you want to know more. No, I'm kidding.
Now, can I share some other research that was done? You are going to enter university, so everybody's going to talk about the research that was done. So research on you is also free marks. If you meet your lecturer and you know him or her a little bit better, just by greeting and feeling that person is more of a person than somebody who actually wants to catch you out, then you actually also relax more, you listen better, and you are more inclined to answer the papers better. So it's also a way of getting marks without even studying.
But study, please.
Yes, you have to you have to study. I know about a student that he wasn't the best student, but then his marks went up, and but you know, one of those very what do you call it, oorig, went and talked to the lecturers and told the lecturers. Now he was in his second year, or still in his first or second year, and tell the lecturers he want to be involved in biological control. And the lecturer said, oh, maybe you must still first study and get through your years here. And then eventually, when it was lockdown, he was still studying, and one of the businesses in the Strand actually was asking whether this lecturer knows about somebody can come and help and assist in a place where they manufacture products for biological control. And she was thinking, okay, they were actually looking for a postgrad student. Now he was in his third year, but she couldn't get a postgrad student, and she remembered this oorige vooropiewa student who wanted to do this. That landed him in a job where 3 hours a week, 3 days, and during lockdown. And today he's actually also talked to all lecturers, got huge bursaries for his master's, huge bursaries for a PhD. And talking on conferences, just being that little bit forward and talk to the lecturers, be friendly with them, then they will kind of start to experience you as somebody who's interested in their subject. So just that's one story.
Colleagues, we had another question from the crowd. How long are semesters? Do you perhaps have an estimate dates of the time frame in which semesters will run for? So I don't know, Rihanna, if you want to maybe add on to that.
Yeah, there are websites. You can just Google the 2026 calendar, Stellenbosch University 2026 calendar. It's on the website. And it works. I literally went in there yesterday.
Another question that came from the crowd: by when will students know which resident they have been allocated to? Colleagues and parents, it's a question that popped up quite a lot today. If you want to elaborate on that, you're more than welcome.
Yes, apparently next week, those who got an offer, next week they're going to, hopefully, I just spoke to them outside in the break. So next week they will allocate the specific residents. So if you have applied, haven't got an offer yet, hang on, maybe have your plan B and C ready of looking for private accommodation. But the first offer went out, it's about, I want to say 68% to 100% who got an offer. And then those students must take up their offer or cancel it, their applications, and then spaces opens up for other people to also be placed. But they do placement. I literally had 2 or 3 this now 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. So people come and go all the time. They normally, I don't want to say the percentage, but if you have real 80s, deep into the 80s, a second waiting list will open in the beginning of the year after the matric results are known. So then you just register yourself on that waiting list. And then you wait. But in the meantime, if you cannot wait, if you're not staying nearby, if you don't have a plan B that easy, look for private accommodation as well. Have your plan C ready. Don't show up here and think it's going to happen, and you haven't got a plan B or a C. Then you're going to sit on the street, and that's not nice. There's lots of place to stay. It's not that cheap maybe, but yeah.
Brennan, I think these 2 ones are for you. So are there groups that students can join to find or form a lift club if commuting each and every day? Or do you perhaps know something on that?
Yes, that's one of the stuff that I've been speaking about the most, because my first 2 years I was part of a lift club as well, and we're still friends for life. 20 years later we had a reunion. So all this information you find out when you come. So a lot of this information might sound foreign to you, but in that first week when you come, there's another offering. During welcoming, if you're a CSC student, in the evenings, we drop you as well in the evenings for the entire week. So you don't have to have accommodation that week, because we will still drop you in the evening at your place of residence. Now I've heard it's the closest police station, then your parents can come get you there, but it's still much closer than not taking you home. So that's one offering. Lift clubs, there's a lot of lift clubs from all directions. And there's also private individuals that drives people in as a business as well. So you will be saturated with all the options from every direction bringing you to campus. If you decide to come with the lift club, it is, and now the train is also working more effectively, and there's a bus. The bus system is working much more effectively than in the past, especially after they've rebuilt the Baden-Powell Road. There's a lot of our staff members that also uses the bus and the taxi to come here, and it works, and it's still safe for them to come here.
Thanks, Brandon. Another question, is the walking and shuttle service 7 days a week?
7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Another question, are residences vacated during holidays?
During the short holidays, no. June holidays, yes. December holidays, yes. We do have storerooms, but we really want students that stay nearby just take as much as possible home, and then just store your fridge or something to that's big. You know, so to give people from afar space, because there's not a lot of storage rooms or storage space. But that you will find out, I mean, once you step inside that residence, you will have leadership who are trained in everything. And each of the residents has got a resident head like me, and we are always there.
Fantastic. Alex, then a last question from a parent is, can we please end off with the national anthem because of the box? So we don't have to do that. Don't stress, nobody asked that. Colleagues, that concludes our conversation for this afternoon. Parents and students, I really hope that you enjoyed your day on campus. I'm going to stand up for this. And yeah, we're really looking forward to welcome you at our university early in January. So good luck with the rest of your year. Good luck with your matric end exam. And yeah, we can't wait to see you. Thank you so much.